Evening.
Nearly.
Welcome to Orta Better. And Karl nearly got caught short again there, but he's saved himself just in time. After saying "let's go," did he not, Gilly?
He did.
He
I did.
did. So we're going to get into it. It's the main pod, and I'm going to run us a little intro, and we'll take it from there.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Leeds are shit.
We're recording, you know.
Oh, shit.
We had a good start. I don't think we've got the personnel.
You can fucking laugh all you want, you absolute bellend.
I think about things. That's why you lot are idiots.
A melted version of a dick that's been shrink wrapped.
The absolute elite shithousery of this.
So we're back for another week. We're all looking a bit glum this week. I'm joined by pod regulars Karl and Gilly. How are you doing, Karl?
I'm all right. How you doing, WFIA08? How's it going? We're here, man. Don't worry about it.
How are you doing, Gilly?
Somewhat better now. I'm not on call anymore, and I am now sponsored by Sam again.
Excellent. If anyone wants to send us any, feel free. We'll all drink it. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well in the chat and stuff. And thanks for joining us after what I can only describe as a shite game versus Blackburn, which I believe was it you guys talking about it at the weekend?
It was.
It was. We had the pleasure of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little chat beforehand, and we said we weren't going to go too much into this because at the end of the day, we all know what happened, and I don't think any of us want to relive it too much. And we're going to discuss kind of things that might be going wrong and stuff like that a bit later anyway. So, I mean, give me a brief rundown, Gilly, on what you thought of the game overall. Do you think it was the right result, or do you think we're unlucky?
I don't think we were unlucky. I think we were par. I don't think they did anything especially good. I think if you look at the balance of play, we had all the ball. We didn't really hurt them. I didn't think they were particularly unlucky. They were particularly lucky, or that we were particularly unlucky. Karl and I disagreed on the pen. I thought it were a pen. I thought it was a daft challenge to make. I thought Strike absolutely just got caught flat-footed and it was dribbled round with no problem at all, completely ineffectual. Having said that, we've got to do something to get hold of this away form. I firmly expect us to go into next home game flying because we've been flying at home. We've got to do something about this away form. I think if you look at the way that we played against Blackburn, the way that we played against Millwall, it's not good enough, and something needs to happen. And while you cannot blame one single player for those appearances and that result at the weekend, Brendan Aaronson is still somebody that needs to be taken out back and chopped.
Oh, 100%. I'm with you there. He's just not contributing anything meaningful for me at the moment. I mean, Karl, do you agree or disagree on that one? What the hell? What are you doing, Gilly? Who's muting stuff? I'm getting notifications on screen saying someone's muted my screen. What the hell?
I muted the one that's gone large where you've shared your screen.
Fair enough. I mean, what do you think to that one, Karl? Do you agree on Aaronson, or do you think he's the best guy for the job still?
I think it's possibly time to take him out of the firing line for a starting position, maybe 2-3 games. I'm not saying he's not a 10 anyway. We know that. No. He's not a 10. And I think the way he's playing, I said last week, and I tried to justify it, if he's playing as a 10, he's going to get dispossessed quite a lot regardless. But the rate at which he's getting dispossessed is starting to become a bit alarming. He lost the ball a lot on Saturday. More so. That
seems to be his party piece.
At the moment it is, and that's why I'm kind of thinking maybe it's time to take him out of the firing line for a bit. We've got Ramazani back. Solomon is starting to perform a little bit better after his injury than he previously had been. And it's an opportunity, I think, to potentially put Willie in the middle. And just see what happens from there. I like it can't be any worse than what's happening at the moment. He's stronger on the ball. I think he's got an eye for a pass a little bit better than Aaronson has at the moment. I think with how Aaronson performs in relation to his output, it's fantastic. You can't deny that. But you need more from your number 10 than just being good at output rather than finished product with the ball.
I think Aaronson does read play quite well, and he actually can see the passes. He's just not good at actually pulling them off.
Yeah. Well, like with Luke and LUFC Lee in the comments there, please don't give Aaronson shit. He's played every game. Fark has run him into the ground, and I'm not giving him shit by any means.
I am.
I think you have to be. Well, like, I think it's more critical than giving him shit because of how he plays, really. But I don't like. That's why I think it's a good time to maybe take him out of the firing line and look at, put like Ramazani in the 10 there on Saturday. I was just standing with my mate that I was there with, and I was like, what? Why is he there? Why hasn't James been hooked off yet? And Ramazani put on the right, Willie in the middle, where he doesn't have to do half as much running. So if Fark is worried about tiring him out, then he's not going to do half as much in the 10 as he will have to in a wider position. So
Bryn agrees with you there.
Yeah, he was poor on Saturday, very poor. But he was played completely out of position. Like, he's not a central attacking player. Like, he's a winger, and he's wasted out wide.
Which one of you shot that up? I'm taking it that's you, Gilly.
That's me. I mean, so WFIA08, we're going to have to keep saying his name that way around, but, or her. I don't think Aaronson was any worse than the rest of them in the comments. The problem is that Aaronson's been appalling for 8 games in a row. He scored some goals early on. They were very easy finishes, but he put them away. He scored some goals early on. He's got 1 assist all season, having played in the 10. He's played more than the rest of them throughout. He was awful again against Blackburn. He's been awful for weeks, and it's about time that we just admitted to ourselves as a fan base and as a club that experiment with Brendan Aaronson has failed. It's an abject failure. He was the worst player in the league. In the entire division, when we were in the Premier League, he was the worst player. Bearing in mind some of the shite that we had that season, he was statistically the worst player in the division. He's appallingly bad. And for all of, he puts in hard work. I don't care. I'm beyond caring about that. Steve Morrison put in a shift. He was called the shift because he worked hard and did nothing. Why does Aaronson get a free ride from some people? I don't understand why people are still defending him. He's shit. I would genuinely, albeit he's injured at the moment, I'd genuinely rather see Joffrey starting there, and he's done nothing for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
On the principle that at least I think he's got some availability, some ability on the ball.
Yeah. Smart has hit the nail on the head for me here. He says, I kind of hope that the champ would be a springboard for Aaronson to build from, but we're seeing exactly the same kind of performances from him that we did in the Prem. Granted, he's more aggressive. I mean, he's gone from being known as a guy that gets pushed over at the slightest touch to just a guy that loses the ball. So I guess he has kind of repaired his image in a sense, if you want.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, we've had.
He's just got to do it again now and turn it somewhere else.
Yeah, we've had the conversation in the pod group about who we might bring in. Is there any chance at all of us getting him? I mean, the thing about that is, if you can make that work, you absolutely do it because it weakens them and it strengthens us. It absolutely strengthens us. I don't think he's the 10 that we need, but he significantly weakens Sheffield United because they don't have anything to back him up. And it significantly improves us because we don't have to play Aaronson anymore, but I still don't think he's the player that we need. But ultimately, I think when you look at the balance of the side as it is at the moment, and albeit a couple of appearances aside, we're playing pretty well. Karl spoke about the Luton game and the shape of the game and the way that the players were running off the ball and the way they were running from each other, working for each other. The passes were working, they were crisp, they were sharp, touches were good. Blackburn aside, because that was appalling. But the previous game was really good, and I think there's a lot to be said for the ability of the team to carry Aaronson through games on the principle that he'll do a lot of running for you. But that's not enough. The quality just isn't there, and when you're giving the ball away 20 games a match, it harms us so much in being there. You'd almost rather be with 10 men.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing, I get your point, Gilly, as well. But the one complaint we had with Rutter last year was that he lost the ball on the edge of our 18-yard box. Aaronson is losing the ball in the final third, and it's not really harming us in the sense that a lot of teams are going to break quick and catch us on the hop. He's losing it further up the field rather than in our half or in front of our 18-yard box. So I'm being critical of him at the moment as well, because I agree with both of you and what you're saying, and Smarty as well. I think him leaving last year was detriment to his progression and his understanding of the English game. If he was always going to come back, he should have stayed last year, and he should have progressed. And we probably would be seeing a different Aaronson this season, because last year at Hamburg he was absolute dog shit. He was crap at Hamburg last year, and that didn't help his development or progress in any way at all. So he's been his own worst enemy. Was it Hamburg?
Aaronson?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Union Berlin?
Oh, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, Union Berlin.
Fucking Hamburg.
All the fucking same. They're German, aren't they?
It's another Karl. Are they all the same to you, Karl?
They are. Yeah, they're all in Germany, man.
What a guy!
Yeah, here, look.
I get where you're coming from, but ultimately the trade-off with Rutter was that he was an assist machine, and he was mercurial, and he did things that other players couldn't see. He created opportunities that other players just couldn't do, and Aaronson's not doing anything that anybody else can't do. Nothing, literally nothing. He's not picking out the passes. He's not. We refer a lot back to Pablo because he was so amazing at doing that. He's not picking out a pass like that. He's not beating two men and laying it on for somebody. He's not cutting in from the wing like Somerville and bending it into bottom corner. I don't expect him to be a replication of one of the players that we had previously, but I do expect him to offer some value. Now, there's a lot of comments that are coming through saying we can't blame him for the Blackburn result. Absolutely not. I'm not only blaming him. The problem is that for 7, 8, 10 games, he's been appalling. He's been the worst player on the pitch. Against some sides that we've absolutely battered. Luton were abject, and we battered them. They weren't in the game, and he was still the worst player on the park. So it's about time we go, do you know what? There is just a rot here. He's not going to fix it. Get him out of the side. Maybe start to bring him back in 10, 15 games' time if you have to, because there's players not available or whatever, and try and reintroduce him slowly and try and build him up. It's not going to be doing him any favours. Us all of the content creators related to Leeds, all of your reporters and whatever else, constantly saying he's playing really badly. And he's playing really badly in every game, including the ones that we dominate the opposition and beat them 3-0.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the energy point, there's been no drop-off in the amount in the distance he's covering. So people saying, well, he's just tired because he's played a lot of football. Nah, I'm not having that. He's covering the same amount of ground. Now, if there'd been a drop-off in that and a drop-off in his energy, in line with him not getting any assists at all and not scoring for 10 games, maybe that would be a point. But if he's still keeping up with the same amount of energy output, that it's not that. And we're only early on in the season. If he's knackered now, what on earth is going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm not having it.
Lee's defended him still here. He says, Aaronson, Gilly, second top scorer, 4 goals. I would argue Lee should probably have scored 8.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he's got 1 assist and he's played at 10, and he's played more football than any of the other attackers and still had less output.
I'm happy for the goals
games
that he has scored, obviously. We appreciate players contributing. It's just, there's been so many chances have gone his way that he's absolutely ruined. He should have scored at least 3 more than that for me, personally. He just...
somebody's having a laugh now.
Come on now,
that's
Jim.
just somebody trolling. Come on, Jim. I mean, what is that all about? Come on here and tell us how Aronson's playing well, because he's doing nothing well at all.
Honestly.
Well, I've got a comment here from Steve Brown. He's like, frustrates me that in a game where almost every player underperformed, including the subs, it's only one person that is to blame for the loss. Everyone, Steve, I agree with your point. Everyone was absolutely terrible. But then, if everyone else is playing absolutely terrible and Aaronson has been playing worse, he stands out more. So if the team around him are playing well, you notice him starting to play well because he's been influential. But if he's not playing well and the players around him are playing shit, he's going to stand out more because he lost the ball considerably more on Saturday than I have seen since he's come back.
It's hard to get any kind of momentum when someone's doing that every attack.
Yeah, and I'm not, pulling Steve out here. Like, I just think if because Aaronson has been playing badly, it stands out more with the quality of player that's around him. That's why it's more noticeable for me.
Yeah, exactly. I've got the actual the Sofa Score ratings here that I'm going to bring up and see if we can actually see them. You cannot see that, so I'm just going to try and zoom it in somewhat. You still probably can't see it, but it's better than it was.
I can definitely see it now.
So according to this, well, I can read it to you. According to this, Bogle was our worst player at 6.2. Would we agree with that?
I think he was, Paul. And you get negative for getting booked, don't you? So there's that element to it as well. I think he was, Paul. I think if you consider the overall game, there's no argument that says that there were anybody that played well, and I don't really know where that comment's coming from, because we've said that Aaronson wasn't the only one that played badly. In fact, I think the entire team underperformed. I think on the B and C we talked about. Yeah, but I think that's generous, to be honest.
I do. I think
Strike
getting 7.1 after being completely wrong-footed for that penalty.
Yeah.
That's
Willie Nonto's missed a couple of very good chances. I say missed; they were saved, but he should be doing better with at least one of them, if not both of them. But ultimately, we're in a position where, because Aaronson, let's take Aaronson away from it for a moment. A 10 that's playing well pulls the strings. They are bringing people into the game. They are looking after the ball. They are pulling the strings. They're dictating the play. They're dictating what the opposition can do to you. He's not doing any of that, and he's losing the ball a lot, and he's not offering any assists, and he's not offering any goals. So when you overlay all of that the role in a 4-2-3-1 is so important that it hurts us, even if he's not doing anything wrong, by the fact he's not doing anything right. But it's not just that he's not doing anything right. He's also doing loads of stuff wrong. He's absolutely the worst player in our squad. And there were another comment that we made about Aaronson walked into pretty much any other side in this division. Well, we're the best side in the league, so we should. Yeah. All of our players should do that. Can you name anybody that don't walk into Plymouth's side? Blackburn's team. We looked at Blackburn's team, having had them beat us, we looked at Blackburn's team and couldn't pick a player that we'd have.
No.
Can you do it with Millwall? You can't find a player that they've got that we want. There are very few players on paper that in this division improve us.
That's the crazy thing, like true. On paper, there's not really anybody we should lose games against, apart from possibly Sheffield United. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe Burnley. But it don't work like that, does it? As we've seen,
it doesn't work like that.
We should be winning these games. We should be bossing teams, but it's just not happening for us in these away games. But we're going to get on to that. We've probably done this enough for this game, to be fair, because we weren't going to talk about it.
You asked for 1 minute.
I did.
I just want to put it to Arthur there in the comments. He's said Bogle always out of position, can't pass or cross the ball. Would you say he's a bit of a ball watcher, Arthur?
Ball watching Bogle strikes again.
Yeah, ball watching Bogle strikes again. Well,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like Maldini always said it. The man is a fucking legend. He always said, if I have to make a tackle, then I've already lost. So if Bogle's getting booked for a tackle, then fucking hell.
Mark's coming
I'm
here.
going to make a joke
about
about lazy Italians there, but I won't.
Angry Italian noises. Mark Wright says that's why I don't agree with these stats. Their keeper was highest ranked. Yeah, he was.
That's the best game he'll have all season.
He was. He always pulls it out against us.
Yeah,
and
did it last year.
I'd say with the best. I'd say his performance was the best performance on the pitch. Who else are you going to say?
He did do well. He saved those efforts from Willie, and he were up to everything that were thrown at him. We had plenty of chances.
We just didn't.
It's not like we didn't
convert them.
He had a good game. He did have a good game. Anyway, let's move on. I've got to come back out of where I was now to get that off the screen, so I can then go.
Well, while you're doing that, just as an aside, while you're getting ready for the next bit, the ref can piss off as well, and Dolan should have been sent off 3 times.
Shit! Don't get me started on the ref, man. Honestly,
he was useless, but that's a given now in these games.
That was only his 4th ever game in the Championship. He's been reffing League 1 and League 2 all the time, and you can see why. You can 100% see why.
Well, we always get someone who's either out of the depth or someone who's been shit in Premier League week before, so they've been demoted, don't we? So
we've got the QPR ref on Saturday, so.
Selenum says, fucking hate the weeks we lose, having to watch all the big burly YouTube men turn into absolute I want a shiny new toy melts. Like I've not been complaining about Aaronson since before the season started.
I think most of us have, to be fair. Anyway.
And Jay's never been. Jay might be burly, but he's never been big.
Yeah.
Depends in what context. If you stand me next to a small child, I am.
We're all same size. Laid down that with Jay.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, let's move on.
Orta no better predictions.
I'm going to come to you now, Gilly.
This is the first main pod that we've had. There's been 2 fixtures, you see. So we had Luton and we had Blackburn. Now, one shithouse got points from the Blackburn game.
Oh, Big Lou. That mother.
What did he get?
Does it every time.
Maximum points?
He didn't get maximum, no. But he did go with the Blackburn result. So there's not much of a shake-up because it went from the Blackburn game because he was the only one that did anything at all. But from the Luton game, nobody got exact, but there were a few 3s and a few 1s thrown around. So instead of giving the results, I'm just going to give a real quick rundown of the table. Joe and Joe are joint top on 25 points. Me, Not Another Leeds pod, Kev, and Lee Fryer from Andy's Man Club and Lockie are all on 24. Luke and Karl are on 23, only 2 points off the lead, and we're down at the 8th. It's close at the top.
5 points against Luton.
Johnny Brown is joint with the fans in mid-table on 21. Smarty, Andrea, and Stats are all joint on 17. Jay, you're joint with Not Another Leeds podcasts, James and Yank Hannah, who loves that name, on 16 points. You've then got Bren on 15 points, and you've got Not Another Leeds podcast, Danny, Big Lou, and Gail all joint on 14 points. And I've just realised I've not injected Bryn into the stats because I broke the spreadsheet when I tried to put him in properly, and I need to put him in. I think Bryn's in between Johnny Brown and Karl.
That could be one to forget about, you know.
Unbelievable. It could be. All right, cool.
Back to you.
Yeah, we'll just move on from there, and we were just going to sort of have a little chat about kind of what's going wrong, I guess, with these sort of away games at the moment. And Twitter's turned very negative since the Blackburn game. There's a lot of this Farker out stuff coming out of the woodwork, and it's all a bit bonkers at the moment. But I am going to start this by saying that this is the first time for me that I've really started to question Farker and his decision making seriously in more than a sort of passing way. I don't know, how do you feel, Karl? Has anything changed for you in this last week? Has it made you think maybe he's not the guy, or are you still kind of right behind him? He's best man we're going to get?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head there with your last comment, Jay. Who else do you go after in this league? Who's available? Like who?
That's it, isn't it?
I think we're all I say we're all like fans are sitting there going, "Fark out this, fark out that." Doesn't know this subs, blah blah. Who do you get? Who? There's absolutely no one.
I'm not looking at the comments, but
available.
Bryn's fuming right now.
Bryn's fuming right now.
He will be. I've not looked at the comments yet, but he will be fuming right now. There's all sorts of managers available. Get rid of him.
Yeah, well, he can keep that anger to the comments there now. I keep it in the group chat, Brent. Keep it in the group chat. I genuinely there's absolutely like, who are you gonna get? I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but who the hell are you gonna get? And then we're going to have the same scenarios when we sack Bielsa. We're going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to bring this guy in because he's similar and blah blah. It's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? It's just like, granted, yeah, I get our away form, I get all that, and I get the subs, and I get all that. But like, I'm sure if you went and asked Norwich fans, they'd tell you exactly the same thing. But it got them promoted twice.
Yeah.
Had the better of us on more than one occasion when he was manager at Norwich.
Yeah.
Who's his Pookie and who's his Buendia?
In this team?
Yeah. You had a flying striker and you had a dynamite 10. Two things that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
So maybe the manager isn't the problem. That's all I'm saying.
Perhaps.
Maybe the manager isn't the problem. Maybe the lack of firepower that he was supposed to get is the actual problem, and maybe people's anger should be more at the board than Fark. You can only
I don't think I could find more anger for the board. I think I've got enough anger into the board.
Yeah, I think you're the exception, but it's
Gilly's that guy from Independence Day, you know what I mean? That's been running around for years telling people they're coming, and everyone's just like, it's that fucking idiot again. Just he's an idiot. And then in the end, they were fucking right, weren't they?
So not me then.
You did offer me a tinfoil hat last week.
I did. It's here somewhere. Like, I can definitely get it if you want it. Like, I think it's on the.
We'll never end of it if he does turn out to be right. You know what I mean? That'll be it.
I'm not like that at all. If I'm right, then so be it. But you know,
if Gilly were on Titanic, he'd be stood on top going, "See, told you."
I mean, in terms of who you can get, I mean, we don't know, do we? Because a lot of that is down to ambition. I think my main problem, and it goes back to the board again, my main problem is that I've got absolutely no trust in them doing anything right. Anything at all. I don't think they've made one single move. In fact, I'll just say it. They haven't made a single move off the pitch that's been right. Some of what they've done on the pitch, Ramazani looks well. He does. He looked well. While some people won't like me saying this, I think Bogle fits a Farker team pretty well. You look at Tanaka and the work that was done there. Some of what they've done on the pitch has been good. Pretty much, if not every single thing they've done off the pitch. Price gouging the fans, bringing in Red Bull. The decisions they've made around keeping certain personnel that are CEO of the business. Keeping people around like Angus that we should have been moved on. I don't think they made a single move that's been to the betterment of the club. It's been to the betterment of them. They are very, very good at looking after themselves. Absolutely, I get that, and they are spearheading a money-making enterprise. I get that as well, but that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We don't care about any of that.
I tend to agree there, and I want to put up Lee, LUFC Lee here. Lee, you make a very good point here, but could you not shout at us, please? Not a person on earth didn't want subs at half time. That I 100% back Lee's opinion there. I wanted subs at half time against Blackburn. I thought the proper time for subs was half time.
You knew it wasn't coming though, didn't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But everyone in the fucking stand knew that half time was when we needed a change. Like, James was blowing out his backside. Like, there was nothing coming from him at all. Lee goes on to say, as for delusional 49ers doing it on the cheap, 161 million in sales, guys. Have we forgotten that? I don't think any Leeds fan worth the salt is going to forget that, Lee.
I don't think so.
So
I think we're all expecting him to open the checkbook in January as a massive result of that.
Didn't Fark say he's expecting
or
a quiet
wanting?
one?
Expecting.
I don't expect him to.
I do. They're not going to want to let this chance slip, Gilly. If we screw this up, their investment, they don't get.
Mate, they've already gambled it once. Why wouldn't they gamble again?
Because parachute payments, we're going to get less money going forward.
Yeah, but they gambled at the start of this season.
They did, but they've not gone hard enough, have they? They've sold most of the bloody team.
Oh no, I agree. I just don't see them doing anything about it. I really don't.
Do you sit on a pile of cash like that, and think, we don't want to spend all this that we've made, when you've got the riches of the Premier League, potentially, if you outlay a little bit of that cash? Surely. Surely.
Do you not think there's a lot of ego, though, after they've sent Angus out and he said, well, yeah, we're a B- transfer window, or B+, I think you might have said, transfer window. We didn't quite get the bits done. We didn't quite get a 10. We nearly signed a 10. We nearly signed a striker. We did this, we did that. I mean, it's all bullshit. He's a politician. And I'm not detracting him for going and saying those things, because they've got to go and say those things. He can't walk into a supporters-led convention or whatever it was and say, we're dead shit. He can't do that. He's got to go in and try and land a positive message, hasn't he? He's not going to go in and say, yeah, we're dead shit, we fucked it all up, and we've gambled the future of the club on the basis that we're going to get promoted on the cheap. He can't say that. It's true, but he can't go and say it.
No. But at the same time, if he's going to come out and effectively criticise the transfer window by saying it was a B+ rather than it was an A+, then does that not take some form of accountability?
I don't think that's criticising the transfer window at all. I think the transfer
window
were an F.
I think that's harsh. I'd probably give it about a C-.
On what basis?
Because we got some decent players in. We sold too many good players, but we did bring some good players in. We just didn't get enough of what we needed.
So we rolled the dice on Tanaka, albeit it was a gamble that's paid off because we've got a player. But it was unproven at this level. He'd never played at this level domestically before, ever.
Yeah,
he came from Bundesliga 2, and that's nowhere near the Championship. So we rolled the dice on him. Ramazani, yeah, all right, he's played at a good level. I think if you look at Solomon, we know that he's going to get injured again at some point. He's going to get injured again at some point. He's had such difficulties with injuries over the course of the last 2 seasons. He's barely played.
Yeah.
Will you then look at fullback situation? Bogle averages 21 games a season over the past 4 seasons. Firpo, 21 games a season over the past 4 seasons. Byram, 22 games a season over the past 4 seasons. If we get through this season with those players available for large stretches of it, it's nothing but luck. And Schmidt was brought in as the cover, and he's been injured more than any of them. So, we're in that situation where if we fluke availability, now bear in mind we've had some challenging positions. If you look at Gruev and Nampadu, that's unlucky. But we'll need to be really lucky from Christmas till the end of the season to not have that sort of injury again, because we don't have the depth in the squad either. And it's just, I don't know, the moves have made, telling us that it's the biggest sponsorship deal ever seen at this level. And then price gouging the fans, charging our fans more in the West Ham than the away fans in the West Ham. Screwing our fans on the season tickets for away games. There's a litany of things that they've done that was not for the betterment of the club. It was only for the betterment of themselves.
Do you think a lot of that's because they're American and just don't understand how stuff works here? How fans
You take the time to find out, don't you?
I'm not excusing it. I'm just asking if you think that could be why.
But they've been around the club for a number of years. They should know how things work now at this stage. They should know what the fans are like. They should know what we're like as hardcore fans of this football club. They should know at this stage. They've seen the shit Rad's got when things didn't go well. if you're in any way smart as a business enterprise, like they call themselves, you learn from the people you're taking over from. You don't fucking repeat the same mistakes. So to say that because they're Yanks that they don't know what's going on, firstly, they're business people. So if you run a business, you run a business to make money. But when you run a football club, yes, you run it to make money, but the last people you want to be pissing off are the fans. And they should know.
You don't give a shit about the fans, Carl.
No, but this is the thing.
The international markets that's important.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like it's like they should have known that this shit would come back to bite them in the arse if they did it on the cheap. I just want to highlight this comment from Danny Talk Sport. It's in relation to LUFC Lee's thing there. He said, we don't get all the money in at once, Lee. It's over so many years. That is correct. But you can still spend money like that, knowing that that's coming back in over periods of time.
That's right. When you buy players, you also pay that staggered.
Exactly. So what Lee is saying...
It's just a conveyor belt.
Yeah, what Lee's saying is correct. And Danny, what you're saying is absolutely correct as well. But that's not to... Like, there's a massive oversight if they're thinking, right, we've let that much go out, but we can't let this much come back or go out again, or we're outside FFP or whatever that bullshit is now. And I think if they want to do things the right way, business-wise, they're certainly doing it. But as a football club and how they, like Gilly said, it's not about the fans that go to the games, no, it's about the international fans. They're completely getting it arseways in that sense, and they're going to get the abuse that they probably deserve. Like 160 million is a lot of cash. It's a lot of cash.
It is.
And to say that we can't spend any of it is absolute horse manure to me. Like,
absolutely.
So they do need to get their finger out and sort it. And I think if January is going to be a quiet transfer window, like Fark said, they're absolutely going to get hung out to dry. I just
they're not going games, it don't matter.
I just pity the abuse they're going to get.
But surely though, like if you're gonna publicly do that big thing about Hamer, you've got to follow that up in January. You can't just do that and then just say, well, didn't get him, never mind. The money that they want for him is absolutely worth it. And we've got
Do you not think that the league position will inform them to say that there's a chance they'll get away with it without spending big money?
That's the worry, that they do come out with some garbage like that. That is the worry. I mean, I'm hoping that the way things have gone, things have been said, the fact that we're not steamroller in the league, we do have issues against certain teams, there are problems there. I'm hoping that will motivate them to get that bit extra in the squad for us. They made a move to get someone in with Gilavugi. Obviously, they had to, and it didn't have a fee attached. But I bet he's getting a decent whack. I bet he's getting, 30 grand a week or something.
He's not like just fucking...
So I think they are willing to go out and do it when it's needed. It's just, as you say, if they look at the league position and think, maybe we don't need to, that's the worry. And I think Farker has to insist that they do something if that's the case. Because he's only letting himself down if he doesn't.
Well, yeah. So Smart is just saying where's 160 mil come from, slightly inflated figures. I think he's maybe forgetting that Sinistera was captured in those figures.
Yeah.
That's when that completed. So there's a big fee there for him. There's a big fee for Archie, a big fee for Ruta. Then there was Kamara. Somerville went for over 20 million. You are up at that amount.
Did we sell Lorente
in the bits for Rocker and Cresswell and Lorente, and there were a lot of players that went, and there were a lot of money flying around.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And a lot of it's just gone into the bank and stayed there.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
Is Lee right there? Did Adams include in that?
No, I think he'd already, because Sinistera were on loan, and then it was completed afterwards, so that had been in the previous financial year.
Yeah, I think you're right. Didn't Adams go as soon as we went down?
I think so.
Yeah, he's straight out of there, wasn't he?
Sinistera had a loan in place before he moved.
Yeah,
faster than Weston McKennie used to get to McDee's after training.
Don't know about that.
Now,
he was a fat dude.
And you know, when the money gets paid is an interesting concept, and it will be forever trying to get to the heart of that if we try to do it here.
Gotcha.
But you are right. Ultimately, if somebody's got staged payments against futures, having bought a player off you, you know that you can then go and spend that money, and the footballing authorities will ensure that gets paid, or there'll be punishments and whatever else. But yeah, so from Skip asked, what about the Red Bull 60 million? I don't ever remember any amounts being discussed in terms of the Red Bull investment and the Red Bull sponsorship. It's also unclear, because Jer had a different view to me on this, as to whether they bought pre-existing shares, in which case the money would go into the club, or whether they bought some of the 49ers shares, in which case the money would go straight into the 49ers back pockets. The other element is there was the share deal and there was the sponsorship deal, and we've not seen the benefit of either. So we've brought the devil into our house and we haven't benefited at all.
Yeah,
well, yeah, it's looking like that at the moment, isn't it? I mean, do you guys think the problem that we've got is mainly with the personnel, or do you think it's the tactics that Farke's using? And how soon do you think he needs to change things up?
He's typing, so I'll take that one.
I know he is. He's sending me a message, no doubt.
I think that any coach that's in a position where they've got a group of players, and that can't change because we're not in a transfer window, so it's not like we can go and sign anybody else unless we find another free agent like Gilly or whatever, which I can't see us doing. So he's got a group of staff to work with, and he's got to make the best of it. So whether it's personnel or not is kind of a moot point at this time. So we're in a position where I know Smart is just trying to rattle me. We all know that Red Bull's the worst thing in football, but they intentionally ruin clubs. So that aside, when you're in a position where the manager has a certain group of personnel to work with, it's irrelevant as to whether they're good enough or not. He has to make them good enough.
Yeah, that's what Bielsa did.
Yeah.
The good old days.
It's all positive, isn't it?
We could do a whole pod just talking about this.
We could.
We always have the best intentions of, let's not go too long on a certain. We fucking ripped the arse out of it again.
We've ended up going way over on sort of January and potentially getting players and all that. I was going to talk more about the tactics and that, but I am conscious of time. Don't worry, Karl. We'll keep moving. I won't hold you up. I know you need your bedtime cocoa.
The food in the oven, man.
Well, you've got a dog. He'll take care of that if you don't get there in time.
Fucking will if I leave it there. Yeah.
All right, I'll move us on to everyone's favourite part then, Karl. Now that you've taken me to task for rambling and stuff.
Tasking, fucker.
Hey, I've got a shit tick this week, my little spat of fact.
You're so happy today, Karl. We all are. It's lovely.
Yeah, I'm delirious.
Everyone's buzzing. Yeah.
We've just had a great positive chat about the football club. Why wouldn't I be fucking smiling?
It's ace, isn't it? That's what we're here for, folks. We like to we suck it up and soak up all this so that you guys don't have to, Right, so Karl, I'm going to let you go through the shit takes since you're loading for us. I'm gonna fire you into the hot seat here and give you a job.
Okay. Don't give me a heads up about it anyway.
I mean, I talked it for a bit just so you had more time to get clicking, but I forget that it takes you twice as long as the rest of us.
All right, knob cheese, chill your beans. All right.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm only kidding.
We've got our first one here. You, as everyone proofread these before I go.
We haven't, mate. No, you uploaded them.
You
uploaded them, which is
this
why
is all on you. That's why he's giving it you.
After the first one, Karl put one in here that I had to check that would have got us cancelled had I not read it first and just read it out on air, because it were one of them topics that you don't discuss on podcasts basically, and they would have thrown under the bus. So that's why he's doing these now.
Well, I hope this is okay. This one. Right, yeah, Sam, this one's all right. So Lord Ash, keep believing because it will become a reality one day. I think he might be taking the piss. It's basically it's a Sky Sports-esque type graphic. Daniel Farke has been sacked as Leeds United head coach. And then we have Ryan Carter underneath. If Potter isn't in by Monday, there's no hope for the Yanks, and they deserve all they don't get. Discuss, lads.
Discuss. Well, I mean, we kind of touched on this already, didn't we? You're not going to get Potter anyway. I heard somebody say this, and I don't know who the hell said it now, on one of the other pods, saying next job Potter takes will be his last sort of big thing that he's going to put his heart and soul into. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I don't see him stepping down a level at this point.
No, he's been offered the England job, for Christ's sake. He's not going to come to Leeds United.
Exactly. We'd end up with fucking Southgate.
Oh, don't. He only lives in
He lives local. He loves it.
Don't.
He knows meet David O'Leary in Betty's.
Knows the club. Knows where the fucking free bar is anyway, coming to watch garbage. So are you making the old Paul there for the old shit take? Yeah?
I will. I'll get that going. Just give me a second.
If I'm waffling garbage here, man, then you better be doing something. Next one is from AJ Lawrence. After one loss, some of our fan base are absolutely clueless. Oh, he's basically screenshotted a shit take. So it's United Leeds. I'm assuming this is off Twitter or Facebook or somewhere going. Farke out, Tanaka useless, Ramazani dog poo. Be lucky to finish top 10 with these players. I'm sorry, like I know we essentially tore them all a new arsehole there during the pod, like, but I think I have to agree with AJ Lawrence on this one. Like, one loss in our fan base, absolutely the melting down. Just for a bit of context, Leicester lost 11 games last year, I think, and they still went up on 100 plus points. Or was it? Did they hit 100? It was like 95 plus or something. So
it was around 95, I think, 96.
Yeah, let's not get our knickers in a twist just yet, like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Matt, what do you make of that one, like?
I mean, well, all of it, saying Tanaka's useless and Ramazani's dog poo. I mean, all right, I said about rolling the dice on Tanaka because he'd never played at this level. I mean, it's completely ludicrous, isn't it?
Is this true, Gilly? Sol says it's your burner account.
I mean, if that's somebody trolling, which let's not rule out the possibility. It's a top go at it, isn't it? It is.
It's
a
very
top
good. Like, it's very good.
But I mean, if he's saying be lucky to finish top 10 in the Premier League with these players, then he might be right.
Oh well, I quite like the Ramazani dog poo thing. You know, that's a polite
never
way.
seen white dog poo anymore, do you?
It's great. You don't? No. I mentioned this the other day to someone at work.
Yeah.
You know why, don't you?
Yeah, it's the content of the food.
It is. They don't put bone meal in the dog food anymore.
Yeah, they put ash in instead. That's
no.
marvellous.
No, they've taken that out. It were bone meal and ash that were in there, and that's what left it white. Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, we get it all on this podcast.
We're literally talking shit. On to the next one. This is very apt for this part of the show. Oh, Jesus, I can't see that.
Oh, God. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you do it, man.
Sneaky scoffer. He says, in a worse league, we have the same points. We're there in spite of fact, not because of him. I'd argue every manager in this league could have Leeds in the same position, including Lampard. Oof, to which our mate Bren of the shit take it week, my little spat of art, says, apologies, pal, but that's terrible. Lampard. Scoff says, everyone except Rooney, who is gash. Lampard excelled with Chelsea and a transfer ban with that extra quality to manage. Some managers excel with good teams and some with lower teams. As Leeds fan, most will never admit it, but he'd be no worse than Farke. Lampard is as bad as Rooney. There's no getting away from that. Lampard is as bad as Rooney. He has no capability as a coach, and all he does is blame his players if it goes wrong.
Man, in relation to the Chelsea comment there, he brought a fucking £1 billion squad from 6th to 6th. So I'm not having
Don't forget that Derby were financially doping while Mel Morris had the division on strings, according to their fans. And they had all of the loans of all of his mates from Chelsea, and they still failed.
Yeah,
they went from third to third.
Exactly it. Absolutely. So you know him. Yeah, Lampard did a good job at Chelsea in the transfer.
No, he didn't.
Did
Chelsea
you
was
see
shit during the transfer embargo season.
Like, did you see the squad he had? Don't give me that shite, Bren.
He was only brought in because he was a name that the fans would be able to get on with, and the fans wouldn't give him so much shit.
If it went fucking tits up.
Yeah, so they brought him in just so that there were less shit from the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. I don't even know if there's a need for a poll, but we'll go to the last one anyway. So this has come in. So Leeds Extra, they're a blue tick account. Here come the reactionary Fark out tweets, and then Jordan. This must be you, Gilly. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I missed that.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
he didn't hide that very well, did he?
No,
you missed that, Gilly.
Subtle as a brick through a window. That one.
You should see what he's posted on Gilly 1, 2, 3, 4, 9.
That's just how many accounts I've got.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So Jordan basically come in after the Leeds Extra comment and gone, seriously, watch the games. If you're Fark in, then obviously you want the worst for Leeds United. And Fotis Adlatus has tagged the second one this week as well. So appreciate that, mate. Do you think
I think that's an Ipswich fan, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, that's what he say. Here you go, lads. We are doing your work. I think that's an Ipswich fan letting us know when our fans have had shit takes.
Right, yeah.
He's helping out.
Fair play. The tag seems to be catching on, so that's all good.
After ruining last season for us, he's giving some back. He's come to recommend.
He is, yeah. He's like, we're shit in the Premier League, lads. Here, have this.
You all warned us. We didn't believe you. We thought you were just jealous.
No. Shit when you get there. So, yeah, I think Gilly, I think you have a lot to answer for there, man. What was your reasoning behind that?
Come on, I would have definitely hidden it better than that if that was me. Give me some credit.
Yeah, okay, man.
Hey, everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. Jay, have you the poll ready there, have you?
It's up there, mate. Yeah, we will come back to that near the end.
Sweet as a nut. Get voting there in the comments, folks. I'm definitely going shit take of the week 2.3 myself personally. So yeah,
2.3 don't mean out to anyone else. You mean the third one?
Yeah, the third one. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Bryn's still in the comments supporting Lampard. It's amazing.
Oh, he likes him, doesn't he?
I think that's the last time I'm having a pint with Bryn.
That's all you need to know about the man.
I mean, that's a little harsh.
That's a pure measure of a man, that, isn't it? Backing Lampard up. It's the pure measure of a man, that. Fucking hell.
Fucking hell. Anyway, so I'll come back to the poll at the end there. We had some bangers there, to be fair. Sometimes we have some weeks where we're struggling for them, but when there's a loss, it's like they all just appear, don't they? They all just come out of the woodwork.
Like magic.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, it's great. It's the one good thing about losing games. The only good thing, I think, that and propaganda on TSB.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the FA Cup draw this week, and we've got our, do we say local rivals, local friends, Harrogate Town?
Ooh. I have no feelings either way. I think they're in the same division as Bradford, aren't they? Which is fun. That's a lot of fun.
They are in League Two,
yeah.
They're all in... Bradford in League Two. I thought they were in League One.
No, there's 2 Bradford City fans in my team as well, and they're in League Two for sure, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. They really are shite now. That's good to see. Yeah, what do we make of the tie, Karl? Are you happy to get... I'm going to say an easy one, but you know how those tend to go for Leeds.
Well, I'm just hoping there isn't a fucking giant killing on the cards there, because that would really shake the old January transfer window up, wouldn't it? We'd be we'd probably be looking for a manager and a number 10.
Gilly, do you think anyone wants a cup run?
Oh, I mean, it would bring some much needed joy, maybe. Do you know? usually my take at this point would be the league is so important. Fuck the cups off. I don't care. Throw the game. Let them win. They need it more than we do. That sort of thing. But this season, it's been so dour and negative. Albeit, some of the results that we've been getting have been great. After the Luton game, people were going, "This is boring." And you're looking at it thinking, well, okay, but where's that coming from? Because is it that it's not entertaining on the pitch? Because we've got to get promoted. So if we're not entertaining on the pitch, but we win 3-0 every match, I'm sold. Do it. I'm fine with that. I'll live with that. I'll live with tedium for a season, but guarantee promotion. Yeah, no problem. Albeit, I don't want to get promoted. I just want the cash. So I'm really conflicted about really what I would like at this point. But going on a decent cup run, playing against teams that are actually going to come and have a go, that might be quite nice. It might be enjoyable. Yeah. And let's not forget, we've not had too many cup ties at home. That might be quite
that's true, isn't it?
I was going to say, Carl, do you think it's a good thing that it is at home?
Possibly, yeah, but they'll be allocated like 5,000 seats or something, won't they? So they'll be building into the south stand somewhere. So
absolutely,
and not them knobbers will probably have one of me seat, like. But
most of their fans though will also be Leeds fans, I would imagine, because they were a non-league club till recently. So it's the kind of team that's your local side. You've got a soft spot for them. You go watch them now and again, but you want to watch some proper football, and you're in a Leeds postcode, so you're supporting Leeds, I reckon that'll be the case for a lot of their fans.
Yeah, and Tulane makes a good place. No replays, so teams will block for pens. I mean, it's horrendous that there's no replays. It's absolutely horrendous, specifically for sides like Harrogate. Because if you think, if they get a draw against us at Elland Road, that's massive. Their fans have had a great day out. They've got a draw against us. They get to take us back to their place. We're in a position now that, right, okay, we're going to have to play in an unfamiliar territory. The pitch won't be a Premier League standard pitch. The stands are, it's going to be weird. It'll be windy. It'll be rainy because it always is. Whenever we play lower league opposition, it always is when we're at theirs. So, you look at that and you think, not only is that detrimental to those teams that are further down the ladder because they don't get to have the big ties and whatever else all the time, and but equally they also it's more of a leveler. How many times have we gone to lower league opposition at their place and got beat?
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a leveler, so it still stinks that they're sold out for. In the grand scheme of things, what's pittance when you compare it to Premier League money? Just so that Premier League teams that fly around the world 2 days after the Premier League has finished, but they can't play replays because they're too tired. It's all bullshit.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, just before we go on from that and on to the next one, we've already played Harrogate this season and beat them 3-0.
Oh yeah, I know.
There is
but that was pre-season.
There is that, Meslier has been really good this season.
I mean,
Clive, you're a piss taker, aren't you?
Right. Well, no. I'm going to fire through these start comments. I'm going to fire through these start comments before we get further away from them.
He might be.
Oh,
he might be. No, he just likes to put the cat amongst the pigeons, as Clive does. We will move on to Derby chat in a sec, but I will just fire through these. We've got one here from LUFC Lee shouting at us before he calmed down. Hopefully not a love fest for inadequate Farker. He hasn't a clue how to change things when not going according to plan. Dominic Martin says, Farker out if we're not in the top 2 on first.
Shouting again.
Please. I know. Everyone's getting irate, aren't they, tonight? Mark Robbins, John Eustace, or some hotshot manager from somewhere that plays like Bournemouth or Brighton. Someone
Sergio Conte now. Go get him. He was at Porto for 7 years. He had a lot of success. He's out of work. Go get him.
Fair enough. Nige D says 16 points minimum for me from the next 6 games. It's quite the ask, is that? But I guess we're all hoping for the same.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
I do.
Some insight there.
We've got some away games in that.
We certainly have.
We've just discussed why that's probably not going to happen for the last hour.
Exactly. Basically. Roland Buttonubs, friend of the pod, he says Aaronson grafts, as you guys say, but he just isn't as good as we need him to be.
And therefore it's not anti-American rhetoric.
I was just going to say, Gilly, yes. Roland lives in New Mexico. He's a thoroughbred American man, and he is saying that about an American guy. So there you go.
That's it. Absolutely.
And he's a legend when he's out of business.
Yes,
he absolutely is, yeah. Skip says, Farker's away form since he's been here at Leeds. Played 33, won 14, drawn 8, lost 11. That's not great. Dominic Martin says, why have we got the same comment starred twice? Did you write the same comment, Dominic? And if you did, who starred it again?
I didn't.
Bryn says, sorry, but Pirro is more detrimental to the side than Aaronson. I can't agree with that.
Not having that at all.
He does lose the ball and break down play at times, Pirro, but I wouldn't say...
And he slows the play down as well in times you don't really want him to. But at the same time, when you look at the goals and assists and the output, he was up there with the best in the league.
Yeah.
Aaronson's not.
No. Sol says, all 10s lose the ball in the final third. It comes with the passes after attempt. No. To a degree, Sol, but how, you don't want a 10 who's losing the ball every time he tries to make a through ball, or every time he tries to go for a shot, or every time he tries to get into the box. And that's what seems to be happening at the moment with him.
18 games, 1 assist.
Jesus. Bryn says, Pirro, Aaronson, Bogle and Firpo were a disgrace on Saturday. It wouldn't be against all 4 being dropped versus Derby, which we'll get to in a second.
Which would be brilliant if we had anybody on the bench that could come in for fullback.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, Byron's injured and Schmidt's injured and the rest.
Fair enough. Skip says, if Farker gets us promoted, does he deserve a shot in the PL, or do they need to be ruthless and bring in a trusted / proven PL manager / coach?
Ruthless.
Ooh, Karl?
I think back him.
I'm saying back him, but
fuck that.
Back him with a close eye on things.
What's the point in gambling?
Because if the man gets us up, he deserves his shot.
I don't think so. It's too much of a gamble.
Wow. I'd hate to work for you.
Everybody said to me about Cooper and about Bamford and about Ayling and that. Don't stand on ceremony. Don't have all of the emotions about it. Get rid of them and stop being all dewy-eyed over them. Well, I would still have either of them back because I think that they're both better than the backup that we've got at the moment. And Ayling's playing really well at the minute.
Listen, that's a whole other podcast.
It is. But that aside, it's too important to gamble for me. And I don't think basketball suits the Premier League. You need somebody that's got the ability to get the best out of everything he's got, and you bring in players. And I'm sorry, I don't see it.
Fair enough. And then we've got a last one here from Smarty, who says, we were 2 points better off after 18 games under Bielsa in our promotion season. Does a 2-point difference warrant being sacked? No, you can't sack the guy. I said earlier I'm starting to have doubts about certain things, but I'm nowhere near that point yet.
And I don't think any of us said to sack him. I know that that might have been a response to some of the comments because we all said, who do you get? That's the issue. I want Sergio Conceição, but the last job he had 7 seasons in the Champions League. Can we get him? Who knows?
If we go up, it's an easier task of getting him.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Even then, though, if he's used to being in the Champions League, even then it might be a stretch. But yeah, I mean, we should be going for that pedigree because we can pay more than anybody bar 8, 10 clubs in our division, and who don't want to come and prove themselves in the Premier League.
Fair enough. All right, we'll move on to the next game versus Derby because we've waffled longer than I intended us to waffle, and that's my fault. But this tends to happen when I
gave me a soapbox to get on. That's the issue.
I know, mate. This is what happens. So we've got Derby at home next. Thank God it's at home because I'm dreading us playing 2 away games in a row at the moment and getting into some kind of form slump. Karl, do you think there's going to be any changes to the starting lineup from what we saw in the last game? Do you think Solomon comes back?
I don't think so, no. Honestly...
All right, cool, moving on.
Honestly, we definitely need changes. I think it needs a bit of a freshening up. I think the Aaronson thing needs to happen this weekend. I don't think it's a case that we can go, he could have a good game this weekend. No, I think it's time to take him out of the firing line because there is a lot of negativity online about him at the moment. We know that the players they look at social media, they see all this. You know, we know they search their names on Twitter and all that, like, because some of them have already proven when they've retweeted and gone, "You're a dickhead," and you're like, well, don't search your name and you'll be grand.
Yeah.
But I do think we need a change. I think Ramazani should come in for James. I think Solomon should start, and I think Willie should go in the middle. In relation to up front, I think fucking hell, I don't know, man. The up front is a serious issue. Like, it's a serious problem at the minute. Like, it's like, what do you do there? Like, do you play, like, you could play Willie in a false 9 and then move Tanaka. No, but listen out. He's going
to get his board out in a minute and start moving bits around, isn't he?
I actually have one of them, so don't take the piss. I actually have one of them, and I might do it next time.
Oh, you got to bring it on the pod, Carl. You got to get it on.
I'll do it next time. But what you could do is you could play Willie as a false 9, put Tanaka in the 8 kind of 10 role, and play Rothwell in there with Crew. And then what you can do then is you can have Willie with the kind of false role there up front, where he can be roaming around doing what a 9 does, but without that responsibility, where you can then start to rotate him and Tanaka getting forward a bit. Now, because the reason I say that is because Tanaka got, I think it was 6 or 7 goals last year for Fortuna, and he got 5 or 6 assists. So we know that he's more of a forward thinking player. So maybe just bring him in and do that. James being...
Clive T says, James being underestimated again. James is our best player. This Irish guy always seems clueless. He's not Irish. I can see where you'd get that wrong. He's not Irish. He's Italian.
Yeah. Well, like, the thing is, right, Clive, it's no dig at you, right? But I was at the game on Saturday, and the frustration around me for Dan James not overlapping runs. There was 5 or 6 occasions in the second half alone where he had a chance to get on it down the wing, make the run for Bogle, never even did it. Looked across the line, didn't bother his arse, and you're like, just rotate it a bit. He's on about coming into a busy Christmas period. Rotate the team then, because it's not working at the moment.
Not Dan James. Dan James starts for me.
Yeah,
I thought he was very poor on Saturday. I thought he was very poor.
Do you not think though that they've had a week's rest at this point? The other games are in quick succession. Do you not stick with James and think maybe he's he'll have recovered by now? It'll be okay. It'll be good to go again.
Yeah. I think we need to take a step back with James. He's only back from injury as well. He's only 3-4 games back from injury, and he was out for a period of time. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we dropped the Luton game.
Yeah, but he still came on with 20 minutes to go. Like, and so he's still getting the minutes in his legs. But I just think he just start to rotate it. Yeah, look,
they are rotating it. That's why he didn't play. That's why he didn't start against Luton. No, for me, Dan James starts.
Yeah, I might have a pint with Bryn on Saturday.
Yeah. We both said that. But for me, Dan James starts on the right. You've got Solomon or Ramazani on the left. I'd put Nonto in the middle, and I'd put Joseph up front. And the reason I'd put Joseph up front is because he's got the legs that Pirot doesn't have, and you're taking legs out of the 10, where Aaronson, headless chickens, you're taking that aspect away. So I think it puts more emphasis on your striker to be more mobile. So I'd start Joseph, I'd have Nonto in the middle, and I'd have either Solomon or Ramazani on the left, whoever trains best in between the games, and then James on the right with Tanaka and Rothwell holding still.
I'm with you, Gilly, on this one. I think the only position there that I were kind of wavering on would have been whether to drop Peru or not for Joseph, just because he's not been getting the goals when he's played Joseph.
But Peru scores loads of goals when he comes on as sub, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Could not speak then. Yeah.
I can't speak.
Yeah, pretty much. That were the only thing I was sort of wavering on. But yeah, I agree with what you say about having a more mobile striker if you're removing Aaronson and sort of putting Willie in there instead. And I think that's probably the way forward for me. So I'm disagreeing with you, Carl. I'm with Gilly on this one. This is the way forward.
That's fine. I sure that's what we're here for. I don't pretend to know everything, but I'm definitely bringing out me fucking board with me bits and pieces.
I really hope you do. I really hope you do. You and your tactics truck. I don't know.
Matt? Ross? I have no idea.
Smarty's
not
on
a
the
clue.
beer.
Not a clue.
I knew it. That giant cup he has the whole time on the pod, it's full of vodka. It's not full of tea at all. Pisshead. He's one of them in the office and he's like, I'm just going to have another cup of tea.
Lads.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Ross. Why'd you have to lower the tone? Ruin the mood.
What about Bamford in the 9 in place of Pirro? He came on before Joseph.
He did. I think that would kick up the arse for Joseph, though, to say your place is not guaranteed.
Me too.
And I'm all for that.
I'd be quite happy to see Joseph starting next one because he's the one that's got the legs and the athleticism to get about. And I think if you're playing he's in effect 3 capable wingers that'll all interchange and move around and whatever, I think you need that up front to just to pull the defenders around a bit and create that bit of space behind them.
Absolutely. Right, I think we'll get some predictions for this game then, and we will draw this thing to a close shortly.
News from Orta No Better.
Well, it isn't that one.
Orta No Better predictions.
Bad to say that one like clockwork.
It's because I went to look at my notepad there as I pressed it, and that where it all fell apart. Anyway,
is that where it all fell apart? Is it right there?
It is, mate. We're all going swimming, little, and everything was great. Oh, I hate.
Right, okay. We've got Bryn and Smarty in the comments, haven't we? So we can go to them as well. But in fact, if we go down in order, no, because I've closed the file. I am top out of us, so I have to go first, according to Luke's
logic.
Go for it.
Yeah, so it's me, then it's Carl, then it's Jay. So on that basis, I'm going to go 3-1.
Oh, I was going to go for that.
Carl?
2-0.
Jay?
Fuck it, let's go 4-0 Leeds and go for a big
Woo!
one.
Is this Jay of 3 seasons ago? Just going 4-0 every game, just in
I'm just
case.
going for it now, I'm just going for it now. It's time.
Nice.
Leeds need to get the groove going.
That Jay was fun too, so.
Let's have a look back. Let's have I'll let you read that out if you want. Chris Gillette says 3-0 Leeds for the fans.
Smarty says, I'd rather be anally probed by an electric cattle prod than see Patrick Bamford start for us, Ross, if I'm totally honest. What you get up to in your own home, Smarty, is completely up to you.
Between shrink-wrapped dildos and being anally prodded by a cattle prod, he's a weird dude, is Smarty. Like.
Are you only just realising this?
Nah,
it's a bit different.
It's a bit clear, like, you know. Yeah.
Right, Carl.
Nothing from Bryn or Smarty yet, but I'll keep an eye out.
Okay.
Yeah, I went 2-0, man.
Okay.
You went 4-0.
And I went for the 4-0.
3-0.
No. I'm just checking we've gone round. My brain's gone to shit now. Because I've just ended the poll and I'm reading numbers and he's saying other numbers and then I'm looking at the bloody chat. I'm having like a meltdown here. My brain's going.
Now Lee's shouting again.
Oh, God. Please, make it stop. Make it stop. Where will the podcast nightmare end?
Oh, Smarty's gone 3-0 as well.
Oh, has he? Fuck.
Fucking give it to him. That's what we're
Fark
saying.
does a Klinsmann with
Smashing
his German
these
here.
ramshaggers 3-0. Farker does a Klinsmann with his German tits out and kicks the disabled fan in the face with his sambas.
And then sits down and has a slice of coffee cake and red wine.
That's what I'm hoping for, lads. That's what I'm hoping for. Cool. Have we got everybody noted down, Gilly?
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
We've got whoever we've got. I'll have to go and corral the other lads into it. But yeah, for now, that's us. Back to you.
Okay. No worries. So I've got us a poll result from the shit take of the week.
Excellent.
It's actually quite a close one. So dog poo finished top on 38%.
Oof.
Lampard was second on 34%.
Oof.
And then it was the worst for Leeds United, if you want to keep Farker, 15%, and Potter, 11%. So thank you very much for that, guys. I've just asked one of you guys who wants to do this last bit for me, but
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I don't know.
Oh,
There you
cool.
go.
Sorry, I was
so
just about to do it there.
I knew
So,
We're organised.
each podcast we do a bit of a reminder about Andy's Man Club. So every Wednesday evening they meet at 5:45 for a 6 p.m. start for the Recovery Runners group run. That's at 5 Ways at the Recovery Academy on Westfield Road in Woodhouse. Plenty of parking outside. One group does 5k and another will do a steady jog with walking in between, so no experience needed. There's a monthly walk and talk on New Year's Eve at Temple Newsom Park. Meet at 11 a.m. outside the tea rooms. And a reminder that there's 6 AMC venues across Leeds. We meet every Monday 7 till 9 barring bank holidays. Pop in for a brew and a chat. All details on the Facebook page, Andy's Man Club Leeds.
Oh, I've made a screw up here. Bryn's shouting at me. We've got two games, haven't we, before we've got another pod?
Oh, shit.
Oh, we have, but I'll sort that out. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay. We can always do predictions on the next B and C instead, because we've waffled for ages here. I'm glad none of you two noticed, though, so I don't feel too bad about
These
me.
pricks have rambled on enough.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bryn just wants to keep us on because he loves it. But I think he might be making an appearance soon with Smarty anyway, so people...
So they say, there's rumours.
Smarty.
We told him he's not allowed to wear his sunglasses earlier, and that seemed to put him off a little bit.
Is he going to come on and do a pod as Bryn, is he? Is he going to show his face to the world?
He's getting to at some point.
I think he's going to come on a B&C with Smarty. We'll have to put a warning out first before he does show his face, but we'll let him on. And on that note, I think we will call it a night, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we shall see you next week, probably on a different night to usual, with it being a Tuesday game, but we're probably back sort of Wednesday-ish, and we'll see you then. Adios.
Bye-bye.
See you, pals.